In this video, we'll cover some aspects of monitoring the behavior of your CrateDB cluster and understanding how queries are executed. I'll also show you how CrateDB can be used as a long-term storage, analysis, and visualization platform for metrics gathered from other systems via Telegraf or Prometheus. Let's jump right in. You can monitor the behavior of a CrateDB cluster using JMX, Java Management Extensions. I'll demonstrate this using a Docker image. This command starts a single node cluster with some additional configuration for JMX. We'll use port 7979 as the remote JMX port. JConsole is a basic graphical application supplied with Java that can connect to a JMX agent. I'm connecting it to port 7979 so that it can attach to the agent running in the CrateDB Docker instance. Once connected, JConsole starts to display metrics from the CrateDB node running inside Docker. Here we see an overview. We can also focus on memory usage. And finally, we can drill down into the details of each thread in the JVM. The CrateDB admin interface has an overview screen that allows you to monitor key operational statistics. Scrolling down, we see live charts that show data pertaining to query speed. These are displayed as an overall value as well as by type of query: selects, inserts, updates, and deletes. Another tool that's available to you when monitoring the performance of your CrateDB cluster is